Roll call.
Hart. Present. Hicks. Here. Janeski.
Here.
Lynn.
Here.
Ludwig.
Here.
Smith. Woodard.
Here.
Say pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to welcome everyone tonight. I have a list of people that would like to address us tonight, so we'll just go through the list. And you want to speak in public comment. Some people have said no, and some have had said yes. So I'm sure where we go with that.
I would say that you let the people who want to speak in public comments go. Are you going to have a time on them, 3 to 5 minutes, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes speaking. And for those who signed in, if they wanted to speak in public comment, Bobby, go ahead.
Sure. Come to the podium.
Please.
Okay. So Robert Wright, I'm here to talk about 2 different subjects. Had a conversation Friday, a really good conversation to start with. It involved the school board might be interested in a second school resource officer. My first reaction was, is there something wrong with the one we have? And that was a resounding no. Everyone's happy with Troy, but what I found out is there's been 48 incidences already so far this school year for no longer than we've been in school. And I can tell you that my officers on the street have been very busy as well. So it's been very active early August and September. So talking with that school board member, I got some details and some information. I emailed Randy about that on Friday. He responded to me, I believe, yesterday. And I thought maybe it would be brought up tonight, but I didn't see it on the agenda.
Right.
So what I'm really here to discuss is going back to how we got to the existing SRO. It took a little while to get there, a lot of back and forth, Larry and Randy and I and Ron. And I'd just like to say, I think we have a pretty good contract in place right now. And if the school board is interested in just starting another one and going from there, the village board is interested as well.
Okay.
So I think that, coming here tonight, I just want to cut through, the back and forth conversations and just get right to the point. I think the school board, needs to let us know if that's something you're interested in. If not, yay or nay, I guess one way or the other, we just like to know what you'd like to have from the village, and we're here to support the schools and support the school board. I think that got a little muddied in the last conversation, and I don't want it to be muddied again. So we're very happy with the current situation, and like I said, if there'd be a need for another, we're happy to entertain those conversations, as soon as possible. So this gets in place as soon as possible. We're not waiting until March or April or something like that before we put someone in, and the school year is almost over. So that's the number one. The number two is brought to my attention that the traffic on Oakwood Street for the grade school, middle school pickup, drop off, pedestrian traffic is just only really worsened, if anything, this year. Just a lot more going on. We've had some accidents on the main drag there. One of them was just down from your house, right across from Kathy's. Just a young kid wasn't paying attention and ran right in the back of someone. And if a kid would be walking through there right then and there, I mean, that's something that's happened in the school district before. We want to make sure that we're reaching out and saying that we want to solve that problem. Now, Ron has informed me that he has been informed that that is a village issue. I want to make sure that I'm clearly hearing that from the village board, that the village board, the school board believes that is a village issue. And if it is, then we want to handle it. And Ron's got some things in place on how he's going to do that. But we're going to need the school board and the school administration's help in order to get that information out there, because I don't want this to be a Mr. Mom thing where you're doing it wrong for months. I want to make sure everybody understands this is where you line up to drop off, this is where you line up to pick up, here's the exit routes, here's the pedestrian routes. We've had Kyle McFarland working for us all summer working on mapping. So we've got everything from the streets map to where the gas lines and water lines are, and he's drawn up a preliminary pedestrian traffic map as well. But we want to make sure that we're not stepping on any toes here, because what Ron's come up with, I've understood, is not everyone's favorite plan. Some have liked it, some have not. I believe he's had the support of some of the people who are actually going to be enacting that plan, but I want to make sure that I hear from the school board that if this is our issue and we're going to solve it, then, I'm going to depend on Ron and how we solve that. And we will do a traffic study and make sure that it is, fully resolved.
Okay.
So those are the two issues I'm here to discuss. I don't know if you have any questions for me while I'm here. You definitely know how to reach out and connect with me later on if you do. But do you have any questions for me tonight?
I think that's something that we'll have to talk about and see where we are with it. So, yeah, but I appreciate you coming and
Okay.
sharing those.
Just get back to me, Brenda.
Yeah.
When you get a chance, hopefully, in a week, so we can take some action by, next month.
Okay.
I've got one question.
Yep.
Is it more incidents since we changed it?
We haven't changed it.
It didn't change.
Nothing's changed since the incident. So we've been kind of, Ron, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have not changed anything in traffic patterns for.
You're meaning since last year.
No.
Yeah.
No, okay, since we changed it, I'm talking about the traffic pattern and coming in the other way, because a week ago, Friday, I noticed they were all out on the main street because I think you were working on roads.
We've been working on roads off and on, yeah.
And at that point, you flip it back out to the
Nothing
main
changed.
street.
Nothing's changed, Bob. It's
Nothing's
been the
changed.
same way
They
for.
It's same as last year.
The same as what it's been for 5 years. Nothing's changed. Everything's on Oakwood Street. Coming in and Sailor.
But with the addition of the middle school being in town now, there's just a lot higher
Okay,
volume
yeah.
of people and cars and.
And you might think about the buses. The buses have changed, how they go in. See, but that might be what you're thinking about.
Okay.
But yeah, we want to get the cars.
I think
off-
you're
on the Oakwood
right. The
Street.
original one, we were gonna bring him down there and we realized that was too many cars, too many. So the only thing that comes in that way is the buses. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So,
I guess I have a question. Is it possible to work together to,
Sure.
the school and the city?
yeah, we don't want to go it alone, but like I said, we got to do something.
And,
So,
and in the grade school administrative staff, they worked diligently on it on a traffic pattern and a route with Ron and I think Bob and I, and we all come in there and we're all sitting there, and I'll be honest with you, I'm the one that said, now listen, so we can come up with all the plans and we can put all the time and effort into it, but at the end of the day, these are municipal streets, it's the villages, that if they decide, we come to them with a plan and they decide that it doesn't work for them, then they can tell you, no, it's not gonna work. So I said, they need to be the ones really that tell us how this is gonna work. We need to work together to say, hey, this, because there was an issue with exhaust fumes. They were talking about on, I think, the west side of the building with the buses. And that, so there are some things, but that's where that come from was me. I said, listen, this is really a village issue. If they, if they decide that the traffic's going to stay on Oakwood Road, then we really have no say so in it.
well, I'd like to have input because the school's going to be living with it and managing it. We don't want to be putting in something that everybody hates and it's just a dogfight from there. So I don't want that, but at the same time, yeah, like exhaust fumes, that might be on the list, but we've got to prioritize.
Sure.
What's the higher priority? I mean, a kid getting nailed on main drag because they're cutting through cars, or we've had that at Diamond Green School. I mean, we don't want that. I mean, that may be at the very top of the list, but I mean, something else that it is on the list and may not be outweighing all the other factors. So yeah, I'm happy to have all the input. I mean, the more people thinking about it, the better. But if it's something that you're wanting us to do, then we're prepared to do it.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Luann? Mrs. Grimm, I should say Mrs. Grimm.
It's Mrs. Grimm who's here tonight. For the record, Luann Grimm, I have stood before you guys in many different positions over the years. I want to stress that tonight I am just here as a private citizen, taxpayer. I addressed the village board on Monday night, many of whom are here maybe because of that incident. I don't know how many of you are aware. I know there hasn't been another school board meeting, but there was a pretty ugly altercation at our park with the youth football game. And I know youth football is not school related, and I'm not asking to discuss any discipline. I was inadvertently involved. I would like to point out I was just washing dishes to start. And you guys, it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It was just the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen a deterioration. I am active in our community. So I'm at the park, and it's not just youth football. I don't want youth football to get a bad rap. I've had to call the police to a youth ball game. I've had to go out and stop people who are abusing the refs more than once. But after this last one, I thought, okay, you know what? Julie has been great to work with. When Clay was mayor, he was great. Bobby's great. You know, Heather was great. But I thought maybe it's time to stand up at a village board meeting and address it. And so I did. And that's kind of the same reason that I'm here. One thing that we have found through all of this is that youth football rules are different than village rules. And village rules, you know, supersede youth football rules in some cases, but in other cases they don't. And then you have the county football rules, and it's the same thing with youth baseball and youth softball. And school rules are different, and we're bound by different laws, and we have confidentiality laws, and we have those things. But what I asked them is maybe if everybody could work together to get a more uniform and consistent system so that the right message is being sent. That is not what we want to be known for in Oakwood. Guys, it was bad. It was ugly. And I am now a primary witness, and I'm probably going to court, and I have to worry if people are going to come to my house, and it's a whole thing. And unfortunately, it does carry over into the schools, and I know we have different rules. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to stand up. I try to follow chain of command. I don't know what the chain of command on this is. I don't know if it's the district committee, discipline committee that meets, that has the parent involvement, if maybe there could be some community involvement in that also, or at least some communication with the village to say, hey, I mean, we hold school events at that park also. So it's easy to say, well, this is the school, and this is the village, and this is youth football, and this is youth ball, and this is just, I've got my grandkids at the park for the day, and somebody's being a yahoo. But the simple fact of the matter is, it's a small community, and it all overlaps. I had my granddaughters at practice 2 weeks ago, and I had 2 people come up to me and say, you work at the school, right? This kid's over here cussing. Can you take care of it? I'm like, this is not the school. You know, this parent's doing this. Can you handle it? But this is not the school, and I am a citizen. I can ask them to stop. I can refer them to the rules. So I guess what I'm asking is just if it could, when and if it is addressed, because like I said, I don't know, you guys haven't met since then. I don't know what you're aware of, what you've been notified of. If it comes to the point that some things are going to change or rules are going to be made, if everybody could work together and kind of be on the same page, because the severity of the discipline or consequences is just varying so much, and it's sending a mixed message. It's sending a mixed message to our kids. It's sending a mixed message to our community. And I don't ever want to see something like that again. And I want to be able to take my grandkids to the park and not have to worry about what I'm going to do when something like that happens. I'm glad my little ones were gone. My bigger ones were there, and they were like, my grandma can take care of herself. But that's just why I'm here, to make sure that it's on the radar and that maybe everyone could work together. The village was great, and they've had great communication. And it's not isolated anymore. If everybody could work together, I would appreciate it. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anyone else for public comment that I missed?
I wrote quite a bit, and I had my husband read it, and I value his opinion, and he told me.
Would you introduce yourself,
Yes,
please?
Jennifer Park. I am the mother of a student who was sexually assaulted on the school bus 3 years ago. She was brave enough to stand up here. Since then, I feel like we gave a lot of grace in the beginning, maybe too much. I tried to take it as far as I could, my husband and I both, as a family. There's only certain things you can do to a child under the age of 12. You can't file charges. You can't get a restraining order. Everything's left up to the parents because they did not live in the same household. You can't even call DCFS. There's really nothing you can do. So, sorry. She's had to live with this for 3 years at the school. Each year we make a safety plan. The administration there works very hard to get that communicated out. It's never going to change the fact that she's not going to be psychologically safe in this school district until she's a senior, because he's a year older than her. It's never going to change the fact that it happened. She's been able to deal with it. We did counseling. We did all the things. She does have a supportive family. We let her talk about things. And so this year, just like we learned how it happened, we were sitting at dinner and we went around the table and we talked about our day. 3 years ago, she told me that she was touched where she shouldn't be touched. And while we believed her, it was a weekend and we were told we couldn't talk about it until school started after Easter that year. So I don't want to say we dismissed her, but we didn't give her the attention that she needed because we had to wait. We didn't know if we were blowing something out of proportion. We weren't. We watched the video. She screamed for over a minute, a seat behind the bus driver. The bus was not moving. No one ever turned around to help her. Okay, so having a safety plan now each year that says to go to a grown-up, that doesn't comfort her. She went to that grown-up, she screamed, he didn't turn around. This year in particular has been rough. I mean, every year's rough because if you can imagine being assaulted in this way and having to walk through the halls and maybe accidentally see this person, eat lunch with them, have recess with them, go to the same Christmas programs as their families, all of that. This year, the student was on her bus again. And this was a day after we went to her support plan meeting, and this was the first year I allowed her to go. She was reassured several times, you will not ever be on the school bus with this child. He will never be with you. He's a grade older. There's no reason for it. We have another route for you. We have a separate route for this person, all of the things. And she left that meeting with her head held high, feeling like she was going to be safe at school. And the next couple of days, we went around the table at dinner again, because that's something we really try to do. And she said, all of the people at Oakwood and all of the or I shouldn't say administrators, but principals and teachers are all liars and they can't be trusted. And so, of course, we delve into that to see why she would say something like that. And it's because the boy was on her school bus again. And so I reached out. The response from administration was wonderful. Probably the best response we have had through the years. They couldn't believe it happened. They were going to look at things. We were going to figure it out and make sure it never happened again. And very sorry, all of those things. And we let it go. And the next week we were around the dinner table again and we're talking to our girls. What happened at school today? He was on my bus again the next week. So I rambled on in this, and my husband said, like, what do you want? What do we want? We need a plan that's actually going to be followed. We need, I think the school needs a policy regarding sexual assault and these things, because nothing can be done if they're under 12 years old. That doesn't help her. I mean, the only thing I could wish is that they were older so that we could press charges and he could be expelled from school and we could make sure that she wasn't here. Now I'm sure like other people, we chose our house where it is for Oakwood School District. So moving, especially with the way money is now and the housing, that's not an option for us. Becoming a one-person household and homeschooling our children, that's not an option. Paying thousands of dollars for another tuition to another public school or private school, not an option. So we need to make it work at Oakwood for our children the best we can. We have a girl in high school and we have 2 girls in grade school. And I mean, this is years. She's 7. She has 11 more years in this district and she wants to feel safe when she goes to school. And her dad and I want to feel like we've made a good choice staying here. So that's what we're asking be addressed. And then even more importantly, I think we need like an actual policy to follow, because the way I understand it, when we came, this had not happened to this level or at this age. This had not happened before. I talked to 17 lawyers across the country that couldn't take the case because it's all within a school district. Even the bus is within the school district. So I learned a lot about the laws that would surround something like this. But I think most importantly, we need to have internal, some kind of a standard of operations or some kind of a policy where if this happens, that we can react timely, and it's not follow the, whatever that is with Miss Kimbrough, number 9. Yes. I read that a million times too. It really doesn't pertain to what happened to our daughter. It is related to sex and sexual things, but it's not related to child-on-child offenses under the age of 12. It doesn't help her. Nothing does. So that's what we want to bring forward to the board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could I have a minute?
Sure.
I don't know how to follow that. So this kind of harkens back to, first of all, I'm Scott Faggett. I live right there across from the grade school. I have a daughter who just graduated last year, and I have a son who will be in high school next year. And honestly, I'm kind of following up with what Luann alluded to. I'm not really certain that you've either dug into or you're fully aware of the scope and scale of what happened at the park on Labor Day weekend. I would encourage you to speak to your police officers in town. I know that this involves minors and it's a sensitive subject, and I know it wasn't on school grounds. But you have a code of conduct in your handbook. I found it today on your website. It is outdated by a year, I will tell you that, so you might want to update that. But it states in the first line of the code of conduct that this applies 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And number 8 says to violate any criminal law, including but not limited to assault, battery, arson, gambling, theft, eavesdropping, vandalism, and reckless driving. I believe at least the first 3 in that are directly a result of what happened at the park. Hazing and bullying online, that is all over this district right now, including some of those involved in this incident. And behave in a manner that is detrimental for the good of the group or the school. I'm going to tell you people, we are the talk of the county. My daughter works in the Hoopston Carl Clinic, and they wanted to know what happened at the board on Monday night and what happened tonight. We are an embarrassment right now. You need to look into this, because the kids that are involved are freshmen in high school. This isn't something you're going to kick down the road. This is 4 years. You're 4 weeks into a 4-year nightmare right now. And if we don't address it, they're just going to get emboldened by this. So I would encourage you to talk to your SRO and your chief of police, because they can give you information. This is in the legal process, and they can give you information. And if you don't deal with it, you're opening yourself up to a lawsuit, because it's just going to get worse.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, number 5, consent agenda. We are going to pull out approval of the minutes until later in the meeting. But do I have a motion with pulling that out to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Who's my second? Didn't hear you. Okay, motion by Lynn, seconded by Hicks to approve the consent
Can I ask
agenda
one
items
question?
as.
Okay.
What we do? I just want to know, the transportation receipts, does that, everything that's due to us, or no? Is there more?
Receipts?
Yeah, you received $219,000 this month.
I think we have one more tax payment, but it will probably be, you know how it is,
What's the
it's
state owe us? You know?
not offhand.
Okay.
Because that transportation report was basically done in August. Are you talking about reimbursement from the state for the
Yeah.
transportation report?
Yeah.
Haven't got a number on that yet.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sorry.
That's okay. No, you're fine.
No, but I just stopped you. Go ahead. You ready? Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hicks to approve the consent agenda items minus the minutes as submitted. Hart? Yes. Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 1.
The Education Association, Luann, have you got anything?
I want to thank Mark. I think we finally have the rough draft all the way approved and signed off on that. The poor guy, I kept sending a PDF of the financial page. And he would say, I have this question. Well, I was pulling up the live page. I'm like, no, it's clearly correct. And I thought I was sending him the newest PDF. Well, no, it was the newest one I had accessed, which was the wrong one. Jody finally was like, Luann, it's not the same. We figured it out. We got it sent. So hopefully I will find time this week. I have a lot of meetings to get that finally done. And then we will get you guys your signed page. Not everybody on the union team has signed off yet, just because it's been a crazy beginning of the year. But we will be able to get that out. So we thank you. And then we did send our official request for the discipline committee that falls under that. And I think we're going to deal with that at some point, but I think we're all overwhelmed right now. And I think that's it. We did have a nice little meet and greet today and provided pizza. And he's got the leftovers, so he's happy to.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, on to number 7, administration reports. Mr. Mulvaney?
I guess the first thing I would like to address really is the situation at the park, which puts the school district in a gray area. Really, by state law, unless there's disruption at school, anything that happens in regard to discipline is, like I said, a very gray area. Now, the fight happened with football players. So as far as the code of conduct is concerned, we could go down that route. I do think the coaches were informed. They knew about the fight. I know they talked to the kids. And I know they felt like they addressed that situation. Now, there are people, I'm sure, that are not happy with the way the coaches responded to that. It has always been my opinion that that is the first line of the chain of command, is to let the coaches deal with their athletes and then apply the code of conduct if that continues to be an issue. I know that it was addressed by the coaches. We walk, like I said, a very fine line with how we deal with issues that don't happen on school ground and are not school related. Once again, and I've had this conversation with a couple different people, but if those were not athletes, if those were just high school kids, and that fight occurred and nobody showed up because they weren't athletes, if we treat other high school kids differently than we treat athletes, once again, we're walking a very fine line about, are we staying consistent with discipline? There's no doubt that that was a horrible situation. There's no doubt that I don't think that the administration at the high school and myself had that conversation, and that we don't take it seriously. I also believe that is a community issue as well. Obviously there are adults involved in the community that really have no relationship to the school district. And so once again, I don't blame the community for wanting the school district to take a stand on this and have some input on this. But I would just say once again, that's a very gray area. When you ask the school district to impose discipline on a non-school related incident, where, by the way, that has really not carried over into the schools. So if you want to look at a disruption of the school environment because those kids were involved in a fight, they bring that to school. Once again, it causes an issue in the classroom or on the football team, then obviously the school needs to take a firm stance on that. But that has not translated into our high school. Those kids were freshmen. They are part of the freshman football team. Like I said, the coaches addressed that. And certainly as a school district, if those incidents carried over into the hallways of the high school, we would certainly take a stand on that. Is there a path in Luann's instance where the high school and the community can work together to maybe alleviate some of these problems? Sure, I think that's a worthwhile step to take. I'm just going to tell you right now, I know that bullying exists. There's no doubt in my mind it exists. Is it done behind the screen of a computer or a cell phone? 100%. But once again, you walk a fine line with when those, when that happens, how it happens, where it happens, and whether it even gets reported. I was having a conversation earlier before the meeting about some bullying incidents that were taking place electronically. If those incidents are happening, the only thing I could say to that is I would hope that those students involved would report it. I would hope if they don't feel comfortable reporting, that maybe the parents report it. But I can tell you from my perspective, a lot of times the bullying that happens electronically never sees the light of day to administration. And kids may say something to you as parents or say something out in the community, but I can guarantee you from spending 34 years in education, a lot of times that never gets reported in the school system. So while we have a school resource officer, and I certainly trust Troy's opinions on what's going on in the community and those kinds of incidents, certainly we don't brush those things under the rug, because you're absolutely right. Do they rear their ugly heads in the schools? Usually, yes, they do. And when they do, we certainly will take the appropriate measures to deal with those. I can tell you right now, the computers and the cell phones are the biggest tools for bullying and have been for years. How we stop those, it's going to take a community. It's going to take parents being willing to look at their kids' devices. It's going to take parents being willing to come forward and deal with those kinds of things in the house as well as what's happening in the school buildings. And as much as I hate to say this, that's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon. Because the minute those kids who I think is a great step forward to take cell phones out of kids' hands once they come to school. And yet we still have parents who are upset that we've done that. So we fight this battle on a regular basis, this whole nonsense of bullying online. But it's going to take more than the school district to stop that. It's going to take everybody involved, from mom and dad to the school resource officer to school administrators and teachers, to try to come up with a situation that helps with that. But there's no doubt in my mind it's out there. And I wish I had an answer, and I wish I had a magic wand that I could wave to stop it. But it's been going on a long time, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. And you may not want to hear that, but that is the truth. All we can do is deal with it when we are made aware of it. And by the way, once again, you'd be shocked at how little that comes to the school, to a teacher, to a school administrator, because it doesn't happen a lot. When it does, I can guarantee you we're going to look into it. And that may not reassure you, but that's reality and that's the truth. Just like with the youth football incident. I don't want to say our hands are tied, because they're not. And it's certainly a school district's responsibility to try to help young adolescents find a way to cope with emotions and things that happen not only at school, but in their houses and out in the park. Because a lot of times they're not equipped to deal with that. And I'm going to be blatantly honest, there's a lot of adults that don't help that situation out either. And for a school district to play as many roles as we do, teacher, coach, doctor, counselor, there's a lot of things that's asked, the community asked a school district to do. And we're trying, and we're not blind to those situations. And trust me when I say this 100%, and I know I'm new to the community and the school district, there's no one that doesn't care. Your teachers care in this community, your administrators care in this community, your counselors and your coaches care in this community. They may not have all the answers, and they may not get everything done the way 100% of the parents in this community want it done. Because I guarantee you, just going back to the phone situation, there were parents that weren't happy that we took kids' phones away from them. So the electronic bullying, we can bring this up to parents, and you're going to have parents that basically say, that's not happening, so I don't really care. We'll do what we can do, and we'll try as hard as we can try, and that's all I can honestly say to you, is that we're not immune or blind to the situation that's happening out in the community. We'll help as much as we possibly can, but once again, we don't have the magic bullet. We don't have the magic wand. All we can do is try, and we will try. And I think that's all that anyone should ask for, is the fact that we will give it the utmost concern and our utmost attention. I don't know that we can solve it. It may not be what you want to hear, but that's all we can do. And I can promise you that after this meeting, we will have another conversation between the district administrators about the kinds of things that we're seeing and the role that we can play to maybe help alleviate the parents' concerns and give our kids some tools to maybe, tone down the rhetoric out there in the community. And, that's all I can say about that tonight. I appreciate you coming forward and sharing concerns to the board and to myself. We'll give you the best that we've got, and that may not be enough, but once again, that's all we can do, is give you the best that we've got. So once again, thank you for your concerns. Mark, I will get you the answer to where we are with state reimbursement as soon as I can.
No problem. I have one more question. what did what was the reaction of the youth football organization to this incident? I mean, it's their league, it's their organization.
And I couldn't answer that for you. I haven't had a conversation with anybody in charge of youth football. I know we had another incident with our program Wednesday or Sunday at Westville. And that's going to be something I think the community and whoever runs the football program and the village who runs the park, I think they're going to have some serious conversations about how they want to deal with this too. And trust me when I say this isn't just a youth football situation. This is travel sports in general. This is the fact that we want to abuse officials. We want to abuse, opposing coaches. There's a lot of blame to go around with how adults behave in youth situations, and the fact that we need modeling done by adults so kids understand what correct behavior is. I don't blame Oakwood's Youth Football Association because I know it's just not Oakwood. I know that, the incident at the park had a lot to do with Hoopston. And I know I've heard story after story about youth football programs that basically have parents that misbehave. And a lot of times it's not the kids, it's the parents. I don't know how you solve that. You coached, you officiated. We both know that parent behavior has gotten out of control. Show up to a high school basketball game and hear the amount of abuse that's dealt out to officials. It's no wonder the kids think that it's okay to do that. So I don't know what the solution is, but I think it definitely needs to be addressed, not just in a school environment, but in the community at large. Because if we don't hold those people accountable, it's not going to stop. And expecting a school to be able to, the school district to be able to stop that, especially when a lot of it comes from adults.
The organization has to have a board.
So I can answer your question.
Okay.
There is basically a 3-strike policy. So your first incident is a letter in your file. Second is, so you're basically given a written warning. Second is a 1-game suspension. Third is expulsion for the season. So that is the county-wide, or I guess not county, but everybody who participates in this particular youth association, that is their bylaws.
And that's parents and the kids playing?
Yes, so that's the information that was shared. I expressed concern to the youth football board, and I think they are looking at, revisiting those, but because that was a joke, you can go out and do anything and you're just going to get a letter. And I think because there was nothing that superseded, how severe the event was or anything. It was just, your first offense, your second offense, third offense.
Do you have anything else in yours?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. Mrs. Kimbrough?
Well, we started map testing at the beginning of the month, and we're gonna finish up here next week. I'll go out and do makeup testing. Title I got approved on September 12th, and typically that is July. So we have been kind of holding off on some purchases, and so now I did a new needs assessment with so many teachers in the district, so it's kind of like starting over from scratch with about $250,000 left from last year. So trying to budget everything, and that's been kind of my top priority with that. That's about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith?
First, I wanted to say thank you to Michelle and John, because our office remodel is complete with the exception of adding 2 flags. So we're really happy with it. It's really great. We're finishing up a couple just cosmetic things, decorations, but everything looks really, really good. So we really appreciate all that time. I wanted to also say thank you to all of our parents who came to swap day today. It was awesome and very positive. We had several people in the room who were here today with our teachers, and our teachers gave really great feedback. Homecoming is coming up October 4th, and I wanted to let you know that our kickoff event for homecoming is on September 29th at 4 p.m. We are hosting for the first time Ironman volleyball in the gym at 4 o'clock. We'll have a short break in between, and they'll have Powder Puff football. In between, our junior class will be selling sandwiches and different kinds of candy and drinks. So please come out to kick off homecoming week. We've got float building and a lot of other events, and it's just a really exciting week for everyone. Homecoming dance is on Saturday.
On Saturday.
On Saturday, the October 5th.
Mr. Steele?
All right, fall sports are in full gear right now, about a third of the season done. A couple teams I do want to highlight, cross country, our boys won county last night. Thomas Wells was the first overall runner of county. Also, girls placed second. I know there's also some county things coming up with volleyball in October, or at the end of September, early October. Also with volleyball, we are hosting regionals at the grade school this year. So we'll have that. That is at the end of October, that final week, with Halloween being regional championship. Also soccer, right now they are 10-2. They placed third in the Hoopston tournament, which was a good competitive tournament for them. Mason Phillips is our senior. He is a senior athlete that just broke the record for assists last year in the season, but he has the career assist record right now. And he is up for News Gazette Athlete of the Week. Last week, our OSF soccer team was also number 1 in the News Gazette soccer team in the area. So that's really great. A couple other things, just projects and updates. One, last year I did talk to Mr. Maynard when he was superintendent about an evaluation tool for coaches. We don't have one of those here, and I know a lot of the county school districts do. That would give me a chance to evaluate our coaches fall, winter, and spring after the season. Sit down and meet with them. It's not something to like. Not like a get you type of thing, but it's more just some feedback. Instead of just me and what I've observed, I can actually use a similar tool like we evaluate teachers, where I can tell them what they're doing really well at, maybe some things they can improve on and such when we sit down at the end of the season. Larry took that into consideration, but it never really went anywhere. I didn't present it to the board either. But I just think that'd be something that'd be really good for myself and also for our programs and such. So I did have that in our board report. Another thing is that last week we had a parent that was ejected from a soccer match. It was on the road. I looked at policies and tried to find we don't really have a penalty for that. Is it a 1-game suspension? Is it a 5-day suspension? What happens if this happens for a second time with that parent? Like Mr. Mulvaney talked about, with things at the park or at school, I feel like we need to look into policy about something like that. I don't want to, that's been my first time in 2 years a year and a few months, that one of our parents had been ejected. Last year I had to escort a parent out from a visiting team, but I kind of want to know some thoughts on that. And I did email county ADs. Some of them got back to me, some of them didn't on their policies, because they do have policies on that.
Are they pretty consistent on theirs?
Yeah. I mean, like Hoopston has one, like the first time it's a 10-day, you're banned from all events. And then second time, it's like a month, and third time you can't come back to anything. I just want, just some, food for thought, I guess.
Could you share those with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna do some more research. I'm gonna email some ADs in the conference, county, maybe the area, opposing schools we play a lot of, and kind of see what they have in there.
Interesting. I just so happened to stumble upon the information from software that they have $100 fine for that.
I was actually, Zach, I was gonna ask you to be quick, but I had a parent last year, and I know IESA and IHSA is different, and I did not know this until I became in this position, but he had to do $100, he had to take a class, and I wanna say it was a 2-game suspension. I think it was 2-game suspension in the level that he got ejected. So we were actually entering regional play. He got ejected in an 8th grade game. He couldn't do the 7th grade, but his suspension was not up until the 8th grade, 2-game suspension. And that was IESA. I had many emails to Chris Springo just to verify, because it was my first time. I didn't know if IHSA had that as well.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's a process through IESA. So the second time, it's a $250 fine. And so they had to write a check to the district. It would be simple money.
Were they ejected by the official or were they ejected
He was ejected by the official, yes. So then they make the report, and it's on my IESA form.
So if an official ejects, it's different than if like an administrator
Okay.
ejects. So there would maybe need to be some clarification and wording on policy regarding that as a consideration.
Anything else?
Tomorrow night, we have kind of an unusual schedule.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We are hosting Watsika in volleyball, and then we are also hosting Clifton Central in football at home. That was something that kind of occurred based on an officiating issue. So it happened late in the summer, so I had to scramble, and so we're gonna try this out, and hopefully it works out. Hopefully we'll survive.
We also have home soccer.
We have home soccer.
And youth cheer.
Yes, you cheer night. We'll have all season.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Ms. Lapinus?
So I just have a few thank yous. Once again, I want to thank the OCEF for funding our Terrence Talley presentation. I hope that you guys enjoyed the pictures that I included. That was an excellent assembly, so we're very thankful that they helped fund that. I want to thank Officer Troy for having the staff ALIS training today. It's not easy to keep a big group of educators engaged, but he did just that, and it was not an enjoyable topic, but he kept everybody engaged, and it was a great educational time. And then our next big project that we're working on at the grade school is implementing High Five for the behavior system to try to document behaviors more specifically versus what Teacher Ease allows us to do, and then have interventions that can be implemented that come straight from the program itself that are shared with teachers. So we're working on that. Thank you, Chris, for getting everything uploaded into the system, and we'll have training on that in October during our Teacher in Service Day.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Acton?
Right, so we have been busy working on drills. Like Ms. Lapinus said, we did ALIS training. We've also had a couple of our fire drills, our tornado drills. But Ron has been in the building. Big thank you to the city. I mean, Anthony Juvenal has talked to kids. Troy does an amazing job. Denny has even been, I think, at the high school too, but really appreciated their support over this last week. So thank you very much. Also, thank you to Muncie Baptist Church. They just did a big donation to us for school supplies and also some supplies for our McKinney-Vento students. Already given out 19 pairs of shoes this year and couldn't do it without the donations from organizations like that, so thank you. All my board report, the only thing is later on you guys are gonna have a consideration item for the OGS handbook. That was approved for us in May and June, but as you know, there's some changes that don't go into effect until August. So these are the August changes, the new wording changes. but I have to apologize to Mr. Lynn. Somehow along the way, your name was left off of the handbook changes, and we know you're unforgettable. So I apologize. It is my fault that was left off. So you are included in the changes, and then I included the changes in brief. Primarily, it's just wording changes, a couple changes to Faith's Law, but those are in brief for you for consent tonight.
Yeah, nobody can get on me for not reading them then, right?
Mrs. Johnson?
All right, we are finishing up our fall sports, so softball finished on the 9th and baseball finished regular season last night. Their regionals start Monday. Kind of everything in IESA is going to be pushed back, but that's for next year. So we'll be ending, but 7th and 8th grade girls basketball has started, and 5th and 6th grade girls basketball is in full swing. And honestly, all the teams are doing phenomenal. We have a lot of potential coming up with our girls. Boys too, our baseball team grew. I will tell you, they are very proud. They had a 3-game winning streak. So we're going to shout out to those amazing boys because they were letting me know. So there was some of that excitement that they came to tell me every morning. And we have some really amazing things going on with our houses. We have a house, Isabendi's going to get ice cream tomorrow as a family. During the day, Obie's is great. New York was voted on by our 8th grade, so that's later tonight. We do have some information from the company ready for you if you would like that. And most importantly, Erin has shared this on social media and myself too, but we started our mentor program 2nd year with the high schoolers. It's pretty amazing. So it's just really cool to watch these kids and support each other and share that leadership with them. So.
Okay, thank you.
Did I understand you said so IESA sports schedule is being pushed back?
They are. I've got the schedule. Actually, I have it in here so I can give you the data, but they our softball and girls basketball overlap. It's so bad. Like I think you're a week and a half overlap. So next year, girls basketball, instead of starting week 10, will actually start week 12, and they push the baseball regionals back as well, like half of a week, I believe. And then volleyball will actually be pushed back 2 weeks. So IESA is kind of moving the calendar around to try to eliminate some of that overlap because there's just so much of it. But so that'll all start next year.
Mr. Richardson?
The only thing I wanted to highlight is I've got some appointments set up with a couple of security camera companies. So I'm gonna get walkthroughs and hopefully get some quotes, and I should have that info to get for at least 2 more quotes next month.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Mr. Wolf?
In my board report last month, you'd asked about district vehicles. So I tried to break it down the best that I could in the report. It was understandable on what I put in there. Right now, I feel like the transportation department is in good shape. The extra activity bus that we are getting we got has really been very helpful for us. And it has helped alleviate a lot of headaches and problems for transportation. But right now, I feel like transportation is in a good spot. I feel like we're in pretty good shape. You did see where I said at some point we need to consider replacing the Suburban, but I think we can make it through this year with the Suburban as it is.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
I have one. Do you think it'd be better to swap it up for another like 14 passenger bus as opposed to a Suburban? Like, do you feel like it's just almost a waste to have a Suburban?
I do, only because a Suburban we can get 9 people, 8 people, whatever it is in that. Where a white bus we can get 14. And I'd rather have a vehicle with extra seats than have a vehicle with not enough seats. So yes, I think down the road another activity bus would be perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Siddons?
Didn't get a board report in. It's been a crazy beginning of the year due to some remodeling and different things. But you asked me last board meeting to get a different bid or report on the truck. I went out and did that. So I didn't get it in anywhere. You'll notice that it's about half the price of the other one. But if you look at the other bid or the other deal on get the truck fixed, there's a lot that's not on this one that was on the other one as far as opposing for lines, different things underneath, it's all rusted out. So I just wanted to give you this. If you take some of the price of what the other had on it, they come out about the same if they would upgrade and if Watson would do what the other people were opposing to do. So I just wanted to get that to you because you'd asked for it. Also, they recommended just to get rid of the truck because it is rusted out, and the other ones did too. We've always taken it over to All Source for all the work, so they pretty much know our truck inside now.
Yeah.
That's where we have the oil changed and everything on it. And then Ms. Hart asked about a used vehicle. There's all kinds of used ones out there. The problem with the used one, talking to the dealers, is they can't get any good ones in. If they get them in, they're pretty much beat up or high mileage. So I did have a 21 priced out, just a regular pickup. It came out to about $47,000 just for a used one with 80,000 miles on it. So I'm just giving you some options, what we're looking at, where we're at. The dealer brought one over, wanted us to look at it, what we're looking at as far as a work truck. But I'm just giving you the information that we need. Right now, everything is being done through my truck, towing and everything. And I'd like to try to get that off because it's wear and tear on mine. So I'm not pushing anything, but it's just,
It'd be nice.
I'm running about 50 mile, average of about 50 mile a day between all the schools, going up north, doing what we need to do, going in Danville, getting parts and stuff. So that's about what we spend. There was one day I had to go to Georgetown. I ran about 75 mile that day. Just get parts or doing what we need to do. So I'm just giving you the information. Just let me know what you'd like. Randy asked what we were needing in the district. Roger and I have talked. He feels like he's in pretty good shape right now. So I'm just giving you information however you want me to go and what you want me to do. I'll do whatever you. So any questions or any comments?
Thanks for the information.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, closed session. Okay. We're going to vote to go into closed session to discuss the employment compensation, employee discipline, student discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hart to enter closed session at 6:35 PM. Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Flynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart? Yes. Motion carried by roll call vote 2.
Into open session, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Hicks to re-enter open session at 7:39 PM. Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote approved.
Okay, we're at number 9 now, and A, need for a full-time dedicated transportation grounds and custodial substitute position. Mr. Mulvaney?
I still am under the belief that we are overextended in our ability to take care of maintenance in all our buildings and all the ground stuff that we have to do, especially being able to keep up with mowing and trimming. And so we're still looking at a way to take some of that pressure off John. Basically, under the union contract, our custodians are not supposed to do maintenance items, which I think we've had a little bit of crossover, and I don't want to put those custodians in a bad position. I don't want to put John in a bad position. So I think at some point, the district is going to have to come up with a solution to add a position that basically fills those needs. I don't have a suggestion for you tonight what that job description would be. I think the sooner that we can get this taken care of, the better off we would be. But as far as consideration and action on hiring that position, I'm not ready for the board to act on that tonight.
Okay, all right. And B, new camera system for the high school.
As Chris stated earlier, I spoke with him and asked him to bring 2 more vendors to give us bids. Q&S gave us the original bid last year before I came on board. They do a ton of technology throughout the state. They're one of the leading tech companies in the area. And I think Chris had talked to maybe Johnson Controls, and he was going to find another vendor to come in and give us bids. And once we get those, we'll bring that back up with the board and see what that's going to look like. That project couldn't happen until next summer anyway, because they probably will have to go in and pull new cable, and the technology that's available now with our cameras is not probably going to satisfy what we need for new cameras. So that would be a summer project. So once we get those numbers, I'll bring them to the board and we can talk about what that's going to look like.
When we do that, can we include the grade school and middle school in that also?
Yeah, that's what I've been putting out, the entire, both the school buildings.
Okay, and
They both need replacement.
like the football field, the soccer field, all that stuff.
Yep, they also have outdoor cameras to be able to complete out, because right now we are severely lacking outdoor cameras. Those were included in the first quote I did, and they will be included in subsequent ones as well.
I just don't have you to go repeat your.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, number 10, consideration and action hiring and contingent upon completing background checks and face law compliance. A is hiring Michaela Dudley for a dedicated substitute teacher position.
She's already been working in our building. It should have been on the agenda for last month, but that was my mistake.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second. Okay. Roll call, please.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Janeski to approve Michaela Dudley as a dedicated substitute teacher as presented. Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart? Yes. Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 4.
Okay, and B, approve Oakwood Grade School Handbook for the 24-25 school year, and she explained to us why we're doing that, so we need a motion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hicks to approve the Oakwood Grade School Handbook as presented. Ludwig?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 5.
Okay, approve the 8th grade class trip. Do we have somebody who would like to speak to us about that at all?
we need to come up there and just say.
You can say that if you want to.
I'm Mrs. Lee, Maddie Lee. I am the 8th grade class sponsor.
I'm Carol Moore, also class sponsor for the 8th grade.
Last year, we had a very successful trip. We took our kids, it was about a group of 48, including adults, to New York City. I think overall the trip was fantastic. There were absolutely no issues. It was a very positive experience for the staff, the parents, and the students. We had a lot of great feedback. The company that we worked with has been excellent and very easy to work with. They're really great at, kind of helping get everything set up, hold your hands through the entire process, and they take care of absolutely everything for you. So it was a very positive experience.
I know, it was a good experience. The kids were phenomenal. I heard a lot of, on the plane home, a lot of talk about, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we got to do this. One of the parents, I heard her say, this is something that these kids will never forget. What a great bonding experience headed into high school, and it's such a transition. So just all positives.
And you handed out a handout to us. I
We
gave them
did,
to everybody.
yes. You guys can look through that if
yeah.
you have any questions.
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate the handout because it goes over everything from educational value to where you're gonna eat.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could I have a motion to approve the 8th grade trip?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
To New York City.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Janeski to approve the 8th grade class trip as presented. Woodard,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Yes.
motion carried by roll call vote 6.
Okay, D, approve seating and aeration of the soccer and football fields. Mr. Steele?
Yes, True Green, they began their summer spraying for weeds and clover and types of things like that for our football field and our soccer field. One thing that is definitely recommended is to do the fall aeration and overseeding to reduce thatch, alleviate compaction, improve the turf density, something that I think both fields definitely need. I shared that with Mr. Mulvaney. The cost for the soccer field would be $2,200, a little over $2,200, and the football field would be a little over $2,400 to do so. But I mean, so far they've been great to work with. They're, but I feel like if we're gonna improve our field conditions that we have right now, that this is something that's needed right after the season ends.
Okay, any questions from Mr. Steele? Any questions? Any discussion? Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hicks to approve the seating and aeration of the soccer and football fields as presented. Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
Mr. Mulvaney, any new business that we, oh, wait, did I miss one? You know what? It wasn't on mine.
It's on the back.
No, it's not. It's not there. Okay, L. Approve Bradley, is it Geiser?
Greaser.
Greaser? Greaser? Okay. To coach varsity 7th and 8th grades.
We have E, that's the activity bus first.
Oh, I checked it because that's the one we were on.
Okay. Okay, I didn't have that, I have that. Okay, let's back up then.
You missed one.
Approve purchase of a used 14-passenger school activity bus. And that's the one we've been talking about, right, Mr. Wolf? Okay.
This one is sitting out there.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, roll call.
Okay, motion by Janeski, seconded by Woodard to approve the purchase of the 14-passenger activity bus as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Okay, no, I don't have that.
Woodard,
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Okay, now we're to F. Approve Bradley Say it for me, Nicole.
Greaser.
Greaser to coach varsity 7th and 8th grade Scholastic Bowl. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hart to approve Bradley Greaser as the 7th and 8th Scholastic Bowl coach as presented. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Flirt,
Yes.
Hart, Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Okay, Mr. Mulvaney, we're at number 11. Do you have any new business?
No new business.
No new business. I need a motion
So
to
moved.
adjourn. Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hart to adjourn at 7:49 PM. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 10.